Hello. So this week, some of the biggest takeaways from my SLP interview were learning that the assessments vary for students with and without ASD, autism spectrum disorders. I also learned that it varies based on amount of language the student has gained. I thought it was also interesting that the SLP could diagnose children with autism spectrum disorders alongside with the school psychologist. I know that with school-based diagnosis, the student has to qualify in several areas. I think in the 13 areas of qualification, whereas children without ASD would have less qualifiers with similar testing in some cases. When conducting the FBA, it was interesting to see that the speech therapist also noticed that the students struggled with large groups. That can definitely be seen as a sensory issue if the noise levels are too high for the student. There were a few times when the student was seen out of observation times that he had his hands over his ears when there were several students near him speaking loudly. I think knowing that there are communication tools for students and opportunities for them to observe the student and determine what behaviors they are depicting was great. We can continue to provide new tools for communication and to provide the student with better transition opportunities by using the devices and cue cards available. The importance of conducting the initial assessment that the student should be assessed in their primary and dominant language. She also explained that trialing different AAC devices needed to make sure that the student is able to use it independently. My favorite thing that she mentioned during that interview was that AAC devices are to supplement speech communication, not to replace it. And this is something that some people forget. We have to be patient and listen to the person before asking them to utilize the device. It should be the person. It is be used when the person is unable to be understood.